Welcome to Real Talk, Real Women. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and today we have private practice registered dietitian, runner, crossfitter, yogi, and lover of adventure, Anna Mauney, on the show. Welcome, Anna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. So,
Yeah, thanks for having me.
you're most welcome. So, Anna, you're a registered dietitian. How did you become interested in health and nutrition?
I started getting interested in health and nutrition after college. I started just reading a lot of health and wellness and nutrition blogs and articles, and the more I learned, the more interesting I found it. And eventually I just decided I wanted to change careers and go into nutrition.
And you started out studying sociology and then didn't turn out to be what you expected. You decided this wasn't for you and took a turn. What set things in motion for you?
So I started out in sociology, was my undergrad degree, and after college, I worked in public relations and communications for about 5 years. I originally thought I wanted to do journalism, but I changed my mind. So I really liked a lot of the communications and public relations related work, and I think that's why I love having a blog and work doing stuff with social media. But I wanted to get into a career where I felt like I was helping people and working more directly one on one with others instead of just always behind a computer. So I decided, yeah, that I wanted to go back to school and do a career where I felt like I could really make an impact in people's lives more directly.
And over the last 5 years, a lot has changed for you, and you seem to embrace change and thrive through it. What advice can you share around change?
I think just not being scared to make a change. Obviously, making changes is really scary. It took me a long time before I decided to actually go back to school. I'd been thinking about it for years before I finally decided to. And I get a lot of emails from readers that are also thinking about making a change. And I was the one that was emailing others about it a while ago. And I always tell them, if they think that it's really going to be something that's going to make them happy, that they should just go for it. The longer they wait, the longer they'll, have to wait until they get to where they want to be. And for me, it was really just finally realizing that if I'd started going back to school when I first thought about it, I could have already been done by the time I actually started. So I think obviously, there's a lot of factors that go into making a big change, both financial and, location and emotional. But if you're unhappy with where you are, the only thing you can do is change it. So that's what I did.
A lot of people aren't happy in their current situation, yet find it hard to go for their dreams and change. How can they overcome their fears?
I think again, just really kind of just thinking, deciding whether or not it's going to be worth it for them. I mean, I think at the end of the day, if you're unhappy with what you're doing, then something should change. And it might be scary and it might take a while to get to where you want to be, but anything's going to be better than staying in something you don't like just because you're scared to do something else. So I'm always a big fan of just going for it. You never know what's going to happen until you try. So, and even if you don't end up where you thought you might, it'll usually lead to something else that might be better. So
You were a teacher in Prague. How does your experience in teaching help you today as a dietitian?
it helps me a lot. In my job now, I have a private practice, so I work with clients one on one with for nutrition counseling, and I think just learning skills of teaching others is always helpful in any career. And yeah, I'd been curious about teaching, and it was something I'd wanted to do before I decided to go back to school. So yeah, I'll always love that experience, and I'll always be able to use the skills that I learned teaching and wrangling young children in all aspects of my life. Just learning how to be patient and teach things in a simple and clear way. I think that translates into anything, but especially into counseling.
And what has been the most interesting thing you learned working with your clients and helping them reach their health and wellness goals?
I think just always remembering that everyone's different. What works for one person might not work for someone else. And I think, just really remembering to listen and hear more than what they're saying. I think a lot of the time something might be going on that's not even related to that. Often, especially with emotional eating and things like that, you can hear what they're saying, but it's often related to something else that's going on. And I think a lot of nutrition counseling is just getting to the bottom of that and trying to help with the other issues that they might be having, which are what are feeding into the eating and, issues like that. So I think just always remembering to listen even to what people aren't actually saying.
You're an avid runner. What can you tell us about that?
So I started getting into running after college. I was never a runner before that. I hated running, especially in high school. We had to run sometimes for tennis practice, and I hated it. But yeah, I started doing some races after college, and just, I don't know, it's fun. It's nice to always challenge yourself and try and, better your goal, change your times and get better. And it's fun. It's great having the blog for running because it's a really nice way to stay accountable, and it's so helpful to get the comments from readers, and I'm always inspired by them to continue. So I just wrote a post recently. I was losing motivation training for a marathon in this really hot weather, and the comments were amazing and completely inspired me to get back after it. And so yeah, I think running's just a great stress relief. It's a great way to catch up with friends. It's a great way to see a new city or just explore your own city. So I just love it. It's fun.
I agree. And at one point, you suffered a knee injury. How did you overcome that? And what advice can you give others when it comes to dealing with setbacks?
Yeah, so when I first started training and increasing my mileage, I was dealing with some knee pain. And I think who knows, it may come back. I'm definitely not the expert in running injuries, but what helped for me was a few different things, really focusing on doing a lot of stretching, and foam rolling has been really helpful. Also icing my knee after running. But I think the main thing was focusing a lot more on different strength training and cross training. I think other areas of my body, like my hips and maybe my core, were not as strong, and so that meant my knees were taking more of the pressure. So I think, at least for me, doing a lot more cross training and just strengthening my entire body really helped. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that continues through my marathon training. So yeah.
You also started your own online-based nutrition counseling private practice at annetherd.com. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I just graduated from my master's program. I got a master's of public health in nutrition from UNC Chapel Hill in December. And I took the RD exam, the registered dietitian exam, in February, and pretty much just hit the ground running from there. So I started the nutrition counseling private practice in February. And it's been really exciting to finally be where I wanted to be 3.5 years ago when I started school. And I've loved working with clients and working with people one-on-one and feeling like I'm really making a difference and helping people. So it's a learning process. I'm learning every day about how to be a better counselor and better coach for my clients. But so far I love it. So I offer in-person counseling for people in the DC area, and then also virtual counseling via Skype and also phone. So it's great. I can work with people all over. I even have a client in Africa, so it's exciting.
Right. And you're doing such a great job.
Oh, thanks.
And what are some of your goals for this year?
Goals for this year are just to continue what I'm doing and make it better and bigger. So continuing with the blogging and partnering with companies and hopefully offering helpful and fun posts for my readers. So continuing with that. Also, a big goal is to run my first marathon in November. And then with the nutrition counseling private practice, I'm just hoping to continue to grow and help more people. Every day that I hear that I've helped someone makes it more and more worthwhile. So I'm hoping to just, continue to make that bigger and better. And I'm doing some continuing education programs that'll help me to refine my counseling skills. So just hoping to learn more every day.
Great. Thanks, and this was great. Where can people go to connect with you on the web?
They can come to my website, which is fantasticfood.com. That's my blog, and it's spelled like my name, FANNE, tasticfood.com. I'm also Fantastic Food on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. And for information about my nutrition counseling private practice, they can find that at andtherd.com.
Great. And I will make sure to put your links below this video.
Okay, great.
Is there anything else you would like to cover today that you feel we've missed?
No, I just want to say thanks for having me on. It's always fun to talk to others. And I just, yeah, I mean, I think one thing to remember is always, you know, throughout life to just remember to pay it forward and help others. I had a lot of help from other RDs and other bloggers along the way, and I always like trying to help others. So if anyone has questions or needs tips, I'm happy to help.
Thank you so much, Anne. It's been such an honor to have you on my show.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and I will see you on the next episode of Real Talk, Real Women.